Now look, I'm all for this inclusivity plan we got going on, but a linesman that's never watched football. Yeah, I'm also blind in all of my eyes. You only have two. Look, listen, this is gonna be a disaster.
Little cut inside, it's a beautiful corner. The whole of the ball, not over the whole of the line. He's awarded a goal, and I don't think that's right.
Pen for me how he improvises.
Wow, it bounced wide.
What's this?
Underneath the goalpost, not even close.
Not even close.
Even close. The worst decision in the history of South African football.
Yep, that's a touchdown. Oh, I've had enough, man. Yo guys, it is your boy Niran here, and you are watching FTW. This is of course the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. What's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, Prince Harry released a new book this week titled Spare, going over unknown instances in his personal life, including losing his virginity to an older woman.
I feel physically sick, literally sick. I could be sick.
Yep, the Royal lost it to an older woman behind a pub in a field. The rest of Year 12 give him a hero's welcome on return to sixth form after getting with a dinner lady from Ipswich. Royals and schools, though, it's a bad combination.
I'm getting the word nonce.
Meanwhile, there was the revelation that he was struck to the ground during a confrontation by his brother William. Here we've got William preparing for round 2. Harry himself was infuriated at dinner afterwards.
Kids just have souls. I go to church. I'm a Christian.
Meanwhile, Charles and the rest of the family were at least excitedly watching on as the scrap took place. Anyway, on to the football though now, and it's been a depressing week for Chelsea fans, or in other words, a normal week for Chelsea fans.
Fuck Chelsea, pussy, or what? Say something.
They were smacked 4-0 by Pep Guardiola's Manchester City in the third round of the FA Cup, with goals coming via a brace from Riyad Mahrez, Julian Alvarez and Phil Foden. This after being beaten by the same opponents in the Premier League in the same week. Graham Potter clearly just enjoyed losing the first time around.
Man, the first time was so nice, I had to do it twice.
But this FA Cup game was a mauling, to be honest. They even let Riyad Mahrez score a penalty, for God's sake, at half-time, and Chelsea's badge was looking a little bit different, but by full-time and Chelsea fans had had enough.
Oh no! You're having a laugh! It's 4-0!
Julian Alvarez had the chance to double Man City's lead from the penalty spot, and Kepa Balaga tried tricks from Emi Martinez's book of shithousery. Alvarez is his teammate. He was there when he wrote it, for God's sake. Kepa got a hand to the penalty as well, but him trying to go over 4 weeks without a crucial mistake is proving very difficult.
For me, I can't do it.
You can't!
Meanwhile, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's not stepping up either. Pierre, look, you're not hitting the target. Just stop shooting for it. You're not even facing the right way. I'm starting to think Graham Potter is in serious trouble here. Here we have Mason Mount when he was told to Wingardium Leviosa the ball into the back of the net. Yeah, I can't lie, he's finally met his Voldemort. But I feel for him, because to be honest, he can't be impressed when Todd Bowley suggests playing a 4-4-3 at 4-0 down. Todd's been spending cash all year. He definitely goes wakey wines and pays £6 million for a prime can. Chelsea are awful going forward as well. They have 20 goals in all comps this season, and Erling Haaland has 21, plus endless injuries as well. The likes of Kante, Chilwell, Mount, Reece James. Their squad picture for the 22-23 season's gonna look very different. I'll be honest, their physios can't be acting with the utmost urgency. Elsewhere, in former Tottenham, Real Madrid and Wales legend Gareth Bale has officially retired, not just from international football, but the club game too. This is a moment that makes me feel old, I can't lie lads. He played his final minutes in a disappointing Welsh World Cup campaign, but what a career, including 5 Champions League titles and against Liverpool. Here's Loris Karius seeing Bale's career now also over. LAFC tried to convince him to come back for another MLS season. I don't think Gareth's representatives were sold on the idea. Meanwhile, here's his reaction to Tottenham asking him to come back for one last dance.
And I went, fuck off, and put the phone down.
Harry Kane's gonna watch this guy win a trophy in the sport of golf before he wins one in football. Gareth is ready to take on his real priorities. Golf, golf, and golf. Meanwhile, I can't wait for his farewell speech. It should be very emotional until he addresses Real Madrid.
Hey, listen, asshole. You get in my face with that, I'll beat your goddamn ass, you son of a bitch. You piece of shit. You fucking goddamn fucker.
He finished off his official statement in typical style.
Thank you. Now watch this drive.
Meanwhile, Florentino Perez is on the way to run him over and get revenge. Now, on to more live football. Police in England are cracking down on illegal streaming and plan to visit over 1,000 homes to arrest anyone caught doing it this week. Can't lie, I'm in trouble when Detective Inspector Flanagan walks in and sees my dodgy Amazon Fire Stick.
Bang, see you later, you go in prison. You go in prison. And you're getting named and shamed.
The police not have better things to do than knock down my door for watching Fulham v Southampton. Yeah, mate, so what you in for? Well, yeah, I streamed Millwall versus Huddersfield at 3:14 PM on a Saturday. Just standard, you know? What about you? Yeah, I killed 27 people. I've already got my answer prepared when police ask why my internet history includes MILFs in my local area.
You don't need to know any of that. You must be a grown woman. You don't need to know all of that. You don't need to know any of that.
Look, I understand the 3 PM blackout in relation to smaller clubs. I get it. It's basically where you can't watch any football that's happening in England at 3 PM on a Saturday because it encourages fans to actually go to games and keep attendances high. But if you're going to do that, expect illegal streaming because subscriptions are far too expensive. Meanwhile, over at Liverpool now, and why do I bother? Honestly, why do I continue making this series? How dangerously monotonous. So you're telling me if I go to prison for illegal streaming, I don't have to watch Liverpool?
Get me arrested! Open the door! Open the door! Open the door! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Open the door!
The Reds were taken to a replay by relegation-threatened Wolves this week in the FA Cup, and were lucky not to lose, scraping a 2-2 draw at Anfield. Look, I'm turning myself into the authorities after watching 6 minutes of this on his goal.
Here to report a crime. Yeah. An international war crime. Right.
Alisson showed off Portuguese-speaking link-up with Gonçalo Guedes for the first goal. It's just a shame they play for different teams. So at least Darwin Núñez managed to equalise. Look at the tech he's showing when he just has to do instead of thinking of things. Oh my god, it's come off his shin. We've drawn to a team with their own badge upside down. Taken to a replay by Portugal's under-23s. Here we have Diogo Jota coming down from the crowd at half-time, pleading to go back to Wolves.
I'm not happy. I hate it here. I want to go home.
I'll tell you what, it's good to at least see Darwin Núñez and new signing Cody Gakpo bonding.
Why are you gay?
Andrew Robertson escaped any sort of further action after stepping on Adama Traore's face in this one. Now look, I'm not gonna lie, I might be biased here, but he clearly didn't mean this. He was just trying to step over the guy. But we were lucky to avoid losing here, as somehow a third Wolves goal was given as offside. There were no replay cameras available as well at Anfield on review. Oh yeah, nah man, I don't know where that angle went, I can't lie. What is actually going on at Liverpool right now? Our form is shocking. Are we burnt out? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Here's Jurgen Klopp forcing Jordan Henderson to gegenpress for an 11th straight season. Now in Turkey and Dele Alli's Besiktas woes are continuing. It's far from a Turkish delight for our kid as Besiktas want to terminate his loan, but Everton don't want him back at the club either. Now I tweeted saying that it's crazy how he's gone from a wonder kid to a Deliveroo rider in a few years, but it turns out they're not too keen on him either. It's a shithousery award, it has to be. But honestly, for real, this guy's gonna be working in Costa Coffee in a few years. A taxi driver at best. Alright, so where do you need to go? Honestly, anywhere but here, man. Fed up of watching Besiktas play like shit, and that dickhead from England, Dele Alli's pissing me off. Yeah, that's me. Honestly, if I see another bad performance from him, I'm elbowing him in his face, fam. Oh, no, I wouldn't have it from him, to be honest. You know what? Furthermore, I'm gonna teach this guy a lesson. I'm going to his mum's house, showing her what a real man is. How do you know my mum's address, bro? As if I ain't been going around there clapping cheeks for like the last 3 months. Here we've got him walking into the Love Island villa in 2024.
What, girls?
Hiya.
What, love? A couple of salts.
Meanwhile, his selfie in the hideaway is looking class. He's gonna be completing this loan spell in a barber shop at this rate. You're not my regular. Here we have him eating the same mixed shish kebab for a 3rd month running. Look, there might still be some hope for him in Turkey, even if it's not at Besiktas. Though his fan reveal over at Pendikspor isn't going too well.
Thank you to all these great fans who's turned out. What do you think?
The aftermath of Cristiano Ronaldo's $200 million per year move to al-nassr is still continuing to cause headlines, as the Saudi side are unable to register him for the new season due to too many foreign players in their squad. He's impressing in the under-18s whilst he can't play for the seniors. His son's gonna get a debut there before him at this rate. He still enjoyed seeing Anderson Talisca score for his new club and is impressing in training as well. Yo, that guy's Adam's apple is huge. Al-nassr posted a free kick that they scored back in December. Please savour it because that's the last one you're gonna going to score this season.
Ronaldo steps forward.
In that position,
And to combat the registration problems they're facing, al-nassr are offloading Vincent Aboubakar. Vincent wasn't too pleased seeing Ronaldo in training after the Portuguese forward got him sacked. Vincent is going to Besiktas because Wout Weghorst is going to United in a lovely triangle. United fans can't be too impressed seeing Weghorst replace Cristiano.
Weghorst? I've never heard. That's not even a real name.
And I'm looking forward to the Weghorst-Lisandro Martinez combo. At his former side, and United continued their solid form with a 2-1 win over Everton in the FA Cup. Everton fans have had enough of Frank Lampard, so they've got a new song to sing in the away end. United did make it hard work for themselves though with a David De Gea mistake. David the Dragon, you know. How are you playing Twister mid-game? Even Diogo Dalot's trying to give him advice at half-time. Have you tried using your hands, mate? Alejandro Garnacho, meanwhile, is clearly missing his idol Cristiano Ronaldo. 1,000,000% he got these for Christmas. But as Marcus Rashford saved the day for United again, Andros Townsend was loving it knowing that his manager was getting sacked down on the touchline. One of the biggest shocks to come out of the FA Cup saw League 2 Stevenage beat Premier League Aston Villa in the last minute.
Oh! Dean Campbell strikes Stevenage into the lead in stoppage time!
The scenes in the changing room at full time were unreal, and after Philippe Coutinho was substituted after an hour, Stevenage tweeted that it was going to take a little bit longer because they had to fish him out of their right back's back pocket. It's a shithousery award for the League 2 outfit. Unai Emery's beaten Real Madrid and Bayern Munich in knockouts, then lost to Stevenage. And it could get worse for Villa fans too, with Harry Maguire apparently set to sign. I can't wait for his reaction once he moves to the city.
I just woke up in a fucking steaming mood, yeah? Because I live in a shithole. Birmingham is a fucking shithole.
Maguire was not happy at getting pushed out of United, though it's fair to say. He had his say on Lisandro Martinez replacing him at United.
There are some foreigners that are coming over and taking our jobs, yeah, and not even working. They're working.
They take our jobs if they're not working.
Because they do it.
What a story for Stevenage, and I wish them all the best for the rest of the tournament. Shout out to fellow giant killers, Sheffield Wednesday beating Champions League hopefuls Newcastle. Their Saudi owner already has a new team to buy.
Inshallah.
National League side Wrexham beat Coventry 4-3 in an absolute thriller.
Just a minuscule improvisational version of a football club.
But Oxford couldn't provide the surprise as they lost 3-0 to Arsenal. Fans were doing anything to get a glimpse of the match in this one. To be honest, I'm surprised they didn't drive home after how boring the first half was. Meanwhile, one Oxford defender is being investigated by the FA after suspicious betting patterns involving a yellow card he received on the hour mark. Ivan Toney's already checking in his 678-1 ACCA that he plays. United played Charlton and won comfortably thanks to Marcus Rashford goals again. One kid took a banner to Old Trafford saying he'd swap his mum for a Rashford shirt. Conflicting for Rashford, he makes the kid happy, but now he has no mum to help him with school dinners.
The children. Oh, the children.
And in the same game, we saw the worst corner of all time from Tyrell Malacia. Bruno Guimaraes wasn't holding back for Newcastle against Leicester. Meanwhile, goal scorer Dan Burn brought out all the dance moves in the dressing room at full time.
What's that called?
And Newcastle are officially out of the FA Cup. Former Aston Villa boss Steven Gerrard is being linked with the vacant role over at Poland's national team. Here's what Robert Lewandowski's about to hear at half-time.
Course.
If Steven Gerrard tries to pronounce some of those names, you got enough saliva to fill a swimming pool. Meanwhile, Matty Cash won't be impressed to see him again. Meanwhile, Jude Bellingham managed to forget his passport, but his mum managed to save the day. Can't be affording to do that when you travel over for your Liverpool medical, mate. Leon Bailey provided easily the miss of the week against Wolves. Meanwhile, after a finish from William Nonto for Leeds against West Ham, they tweeted, "Get in, Willie." Not gonna lie, their admin was just struggling, lads. Just get in, for God's sake, just get in there, Willie. Hugo Lloris has announced his retirement from international football, and now Tottenham fans are hoping he'll do the same for them. Joao Felix has signed for Chelsea on loan till the end of the season for £11 million. He's gone from playing under a defensive terrorism manager to playing under another defensive terrorism manager. FIFA are apparently going to keep Pele's feet in a museum to commemorate one of football's legends. Paul Scholes is going to get escorted out there immediately after nibbling on the Brazilian's toes. Meanwhile, there's the revelation that Brighton midfielder Kaoru Mitoma once rejected a professional contract offer to study at university on the nuances of dribbling. Yeah, nah, fullbacks in this division are finished. Now in Spain, there's a big clash towards the top of La Liga as Barcelona beat Atletico Madrid. In this one, Ferran Torres and Stefan Savic got sent off late on after getting involved in a scrap with each other. Stefan had this to say in a post-match interview.
Pop, pop, bang! On the floor. End of, you bum.
And that's it.
Though I can't lie, he grabbed a very suspect part of Ferran Torres here.
See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis!
Not helped by Barcelona tweeting, "This D is on fire." Over at Real Madrid, for the first time in their history, they put out a starting 11 that had no Spanish players in it whatsoever, and they lost to Villarreal. Meanwhile, infamous World Cup referee Antonio Lahoz is back at it once again, sending off Sevilla's manager just 15 minutes into their most recent cup game. Lucas Perez, who recently joined his boyhood club Deportivo La Coruña in the 3rd division, made his first appearance and scored a brace in a victory for his new side at Getafe, and we've got a man struggling to keep his balance here. And in a 7-a-side tournament that's being run and organised by Gerard Piqué on Spanish television, a La Liga player who wasn't allowed to go and compete by his team appeared in a mask so no one would know who it was. Wow, Memphis Depay really wants some minutes this season. Meanwhile, there were some big upsets in cups across Europe as Tueta, a side off the coast of Africa, beat La Liga side Elche, and in France, Strasbourg Königshofen of the 6th division beat Ligue 1 side Clermont Foot on penalties. Elsewhere in the French Cup, and Eric Bailly was sent off for an absolutely ridiculous challenge that put his opponent in hospital. He did at least go and apologise to his victim before slipping and making it worse. For Marseille as well, and Alexis Sanchez brought out a Panenka penalty, but to be honest, I'm more shocked at the moustache that he's grown. Over in Italy, and it's been a tough week for Romelu Lukaku, who provided this hospital touch versus Napoli. Nah, that's great. The whole stadium laughed, you know. Imagine controlling the ball and getting canned laughter from the audience. Then versus Monza, he did the exact same thing late on. Edin Dzeko laughed at him from the bench, and Inter conceded in injury time, because this Belgian individual wears Heelys when he plays football. At Juventus, and Moise Kean has an unusually large tongue. 44-year-old Parma goalkeeper Gianluigi Buffon played against Inter in the Italian Cup this week. And honestly, if Inter didn't score at least 4 against a guy with arthritis, then I don't know for them. We've got a very wholesome clip coming from Lazio striker Ciro Immobile, surprising a young fan of his. Meanwhile, down in the lower divisions, and a team called Castellana won 1-0 thanks to this goal, which was missed into the side netting, but the referee thought it had hit the back of the net, even though it literally went wide. Yep, lads, that's a 3-pointer. What the fuck is wrong with you? But these goals did go in. It's time for your goals of the week here. First of all, over at Oldham, and what a flick and finish this is from forward Mike Fondok. Staying in England, this time into the Football League, and what a long-range effort this is from Theo Archibald of Leyton Orient. Meanwhile, completing a set of English goals of the week this time around, Liverpool under-23 centre-back Billy Cometio was not messing about last night. Now, over in Germany, and some more wholesome stuff here, as 6 months after being diagnosed with a brain tumour, forward Sebastian Haller returns to the pitch for Borussia Dortmund for the very first time. We've got a picture here of Drake linking up with ex-Miss Croatia, who took the World Cup in Qatar by storm. We're gonna get some cheesy Croatian bars in the next album. Here is Drake marking her in the studio. PSV youngster Xavi Simons has been taking the Eredivisie by storm, but to keep him grounded, the rest of his teammates make him clean their boots. In Holland, and what about this for a clever 5-a-side finish from RZ youngster Keith Smith? Not so clever in Portugal. We've got the worst dive of the week coming from Sporting Lisbon against Maritimo. And staying on a Portuguese team, Roberto Martinez is their new national team manager.
This guy is not even a coach.
Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty. And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Over in Saudi Arabia, and after the signing of Cristiano Ronaldo, fans of other clubs across the country have been running onto the pitch to do the new signing's trademark Sue celebration. You can either tune into Saudi Arabian football if you want to see that, or you can make yourself a few hot drinks. Sue! Sue! Sue!
Muchas gracias, afición. Este para vosotros. ¡Sí!
But Lucas Podolski this week managed to get himself sent off during his own charity match after taking down an opponent as the final man. He was given the marching orders by the referee, but it's a charity game, like read the room. Lucas, understandably, was not too pleased, stepped off the pitch, then decided to throw some water at the official after. Iraq faced off against Saudi Arabia in international action this week, and the weather got a little bit in the way of attacking play here. In the Netherlands, and we've got a poor linesman getting caught in the crossfire of this challenge. The former manager of Tigres left the club and said that the players involved in the starting 11 were too old, while current Tigres forward André-Pierre Gignac scored this week and celebrated by pretending to be an old man. It's a shithousery award for the Frenchman. Former Football League regular Adam Lafondre is playing his trade over in Australia right now, and against the side down to 9 men, he had the chance to score from the penalty spot in the last minute, had his penalty saved, but then in the follow-up, there was a handball. Cue a second penalty and another chance for Lafondre to win the game for his side. He blazes the ball out of the stadium. Closer to home, and Maidstone defender Johan Zuma managed to put through his own net in dramatic style this week. The most comical own goal Zuma scored since he volleyed a cat. David Beckham's son, Romeo, has officially signed for Brentford B this week. The youngster, of course, has grown up in America and will not be taking any grief from his Brentford teammates.
You don't know where I'm from, dog.
Meanwhile, Dorking Wanderers lost 5-1 recently, and their manager believes he knows the reason why.
There's no way of dressing up the situation. You know, in honesty, you know, Oldham have won 5-1 because we are shit at defending.
Now over in Morocco, and we've got a sensational own goal coming in here from Maghreb. A breakdown in communication, you could argue. The Gulf Cup is going on at the moment, and Yemen have provided us with some great content. First of all, this absolutely tragic miss after going round the keeper. How have you put it wide that side of the goal? And it's not too much better on the other end of the pitch. But now, over in Indonesia, the officials are taking a break from being useless this week, and instead we're getting some sensational acting in the penalty area. If there is an Indonesian version of EastEnders, make it happen. Over in the lower leagues of Brazil, and a footballer by the name of Dieguinho decided to hit one from range in the rain, came from his own half, and it bounced awkwardly over the goalkeeper to end in the back of the net, and continuing the trend of dodgy Brazilian goalkeepers this week.
Da conquista, olha o Lucas menino, a bola sobrou, olha o gol da Ponte.
Listen, that bus in the background, park that in front of the goal instead of there. Over in Honduras, and we've got a side here that have made a new signing, and they've posted this picture to welcome him, except he's not actually signing a contract. They've literally just torn out a piece of A4 paper from a notepad. Up in Scotland and at Arbroath, one commentator has had enough.
Big men are up from the back. El Mahani, right foot, whips it. Oh, jeezy peeps, man.
Malaysian footballer Safawi Razid wanted to offer his boots to some fans in the front row. Turns out none of the people that he tried to throw it to have a career in goalkeeping coming up. With the World Cup having just taken place in Qatar at the end of last year, you would hope it would inspire people playing in their domestic league to be the best they possibly can be. Or not in this case. In South Korea, and how about this for a player transfer announcement, just getting them to stand down at the local petrol station. Honestly, their transfer fee was probably less expensive than the fuel they're standing next to. And up in Sweden at AIK, they've been welcomed back to their first training session of the year in some style. Now that it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now, this is a segment of the show where it brings you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. Now look, it doesn't quite replicate scoring in front of the cop, but grabbing a goal in Sunday League feels just as important at the time. And that's why at any given opportunity, you've got to take the time to steal one from your teammate who's done all the hard work. This teammate's reaction, though, probably very justified. On to the weird stuff, though, now. Bit of a feel-good story, actually, down in the 2nd division of Spain, where former Chelsea wonder kid Charlie Muzonda has been out for over 1,000 days with injury. Yes, the Belgian winger has been out for about 3 years with recurring injury problems, and finally took to the field for the first time in so long this week. Located in Oceania, the Marshall Islands are currently tweeting out interest in setting up a national team for the country. Yet they are basically the only country in the world that doesn't have a footballing national team. They're taken to social media to try and get people involved. If you have any heritage from this nation, or you know someone that does, then then make sure they get involved too. A Martinique footballer has been arrested this week with 100 kilograms of a substance. Jean-Manuel Nedra was traveling with his partner when he was arrested and caught with this in his luggage. 100 kilos. I mean, you're just crossing the line at that point. And finally, over at Bristol Rovers, their players and coaching staff are going to shave their heads this week in support of their defender, Nick Anderton, who's currently undergoing intense chemotherapy. They're all going to go bald on the 16th of January and hope to raise money for a GoFundMe page for Anderton and his family. It's surpassed £9,000 in less than 24 hours, but can we add to it? You'll find a link to it down in the description below. Feel free to go and help out if you can. But that is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.